Clark County Today is presented by Cano Real Estate. Hire an agent, get a team. Learn more by visiting CanoRealEstate.com.
Hey everyone, Chris Brown here with your ClarkCountyToday.com video update for Wednesday, November 25th. We are getting some new details into the officer-involved shooting death of a 21-year-old Camas man. Kevin Peterson Jr. died October 29th after Clark County detectives say he fled from a drug sting. The final report from the Lower Columbia Major Crimes Team and the Southwest Washington Independent Investigations Response Team included an 11-minute video detailing the moments leading up to Peterson's shooting, including security camera and drone footage of the incident. Detectives said that Peterson had aimed a handgun at deputies, then fled before three of them opened fire behind the U.S. Bank on Highway 99 in Hazeldale. Camera footage shows Peterson sitting up and aiming a handgun at deputies before he was shot again. A total of 34 shots were fired. In the confusion, deputies said they believed Peterson had fired at them, but later analysis shows his weapon had not been fired. Clark County deputies do not currently wear body cameras. The investigation is being handed over to Clark County prosecutor Tony Golick, who said he has asked the Pierce County Prosecutor's Office to conduct an independent review to read more about the investigation and see that video, which we will caution you contains graphic content. See our full story at ClarkCountyToday.com. 5 people were arrested yesterday afternoon following a drive-by shooting incident at the Pebble Creek Garden Apartments on Northeast 66th Avenue near Minnehaha. The Clark County Sheriff's Office says they were called to the scene on the report of a suspicious vehicle occupied by several subjects wearing masks and armed with sawed-off weapons. Around the same time, a second caller to 911 reported hearing shots fired in the area. A deputy arriving on scene spotted a vehicle leaving the area at a high rate of speed, and after a short chase, that vehicle crashed into a telephone pole, knocking out power in the area. 5 people fled on foot but were captured a short time later. They were identified as 19-year-old Elijah Andrews and 18-year-olds Clyde Hunt and Dale Grendel. 2 other minors were also arrested but not identified. The incident was believed to be retaliation for something that had happened the previous night. Charges so far range from unlawful possession of firearms, drive-by shooting, attempt to elude, and possession of a stolen vehicle. Well, Clark County added 222 new cases of COVID-19 just before the Thanksgiving holiday, bringing the overall total to just under 8,000. Active cases dipped a bit down to 398, with hospitalizations also declining slightly to 12.9% of total bed space, with 69 confirmed and 12 suspected cases hospitalized. This will be the last report of numbers until next Monday due to the holiday weekend. Well, the surge in cases across the county has put a strain on some school districts that are providing in-person education for kindergarten students. The Battleground School Board this week heard a report that district administrators are scrambling to fill holes left by teachers who've been forced to quarantine due to a possible exposure, and students who show symptoms but may not be COVID positive. To date, there have been no major outbreaks linked to Clark County school districts, but the holidays and already thin staffing means substitutes are in high demand right now. So far, Battleground Public Schools says they expect they'll be able to continue kindergarten in-person classes. Same with Vancouver and Evergreen. Ridgefield School District, which had been expected to start hybrid learning for kindergartners next week, has delayed the start until after winter break. Well, yesterday's meeting of the 16-member Bi-State Bridge Committee got an update on the timeline for the next 4 years, including the creation of 2 community-based groups for input. But the major discussion surrounded their conceptual funding plan, which showed a $1.8 to $2.3 billion shortfall based on the 2012 Columbia River Crossing project.
The question, kind of what I started out with my first question today, is where's the money going to come from? I think, we had a big commitment back then with money that was, how did the Undersecretary for Transportation describe it to me? He said, we're assuming we're funding a transit bridge that we're going to allow cars and trucks to drive over, because the money was coming from the transit side. And I hope that there's some of that that's still available, but my hope, if we're going to get this project off the ground, is that there's a major infusion of federal funds. Without that, I'm not sure how we do it.
Early estimates put a $4.81 billion price tag on that project, though planners stress that we're still in very early stages with years of design discussion ahead of us. For a full recap of Tuesday's meeting, head over to ClarkCountyToday.com. All right, how about some good news stuff as we head into the Thanksgiving holiday? Our own Paul Valencia got a call earlier this fall asking if he knew Ben Hibschman. Of course, Paul knew the 2002 Class 4A State Football Player of the Year from Mountain View High School. Anyway, this is the story on how Hibby, as he's known, had his 2003 University of Washington football jersey returned to him this year.
Ben Hibschman wears the uniform of his nation every day, working active duty as an officer in the Army National Guard. When he returns to his home in Lacey now, he gets to look at his old football jersey from the University of Washington, thanks to a gesture from a fan of the Huskies. Hibby, as he is known, was the Class 4A State Football Player of the Year in the fall of 2002, helping Mountain View to a state semifinal appearance. From there, he went to the University of Washington as a walk-on. He was on the sideline in that shrine, Husky Stadium, wearing number 14. It was only for a year. As a walk-on, he knew he had a better chance to play somewhere else. He transferred to Western Washington, but his heart remained at UW. A year or so later, Chris Traynor and his family, diehard Husky fans, were at a sale of UW football items. Chris, at the time a sophomore in high school, wore number 14, so his dad bought a number 14 jersey. Just happened to be Hibby's jersey. Now in 2020, Chris found the jersey again and decided to go looking for whoever this Ben Hibschman guy was. A couple of phone calls were made, and eventually someone called me. That's right, I covered Hibby's excellence in my first 2 years as a high school sports reporter in Clark County. A series of texts later, Traynor sent Hibby that number 14 jersey. Hibby loves it, but he said what makes it truly special is that a stranger went through all that trouble to find him.
All right, great stuff. Thank you, Paul. Hey, we have one more good news story to round out this evening's video. Bonnie Brazier is the self-proclaimed pastry princess of Blue Door Bakery. The French-inspired bakery sits on Main Street in downtown Vancouver and makes a variety of treats along with breakfast, brunches, and lunches. Although the coronavirus pandemic has made the little bakery change how they operate, it hasn't stopped them from taking care of fellow Clark County residents at a time of uncertainty. Brazier and her team of employees were going stir crazy about a month into the first closure in March, so they decided to act by cooking various meals and working with several area groups, churches, and senior living communities to help provide meals to those in need. The team provided over 1,500 meals, more than 50 per day for 5 weeks. And Brazier says she has no plans of stopping anytime soon. Every year around Christmas season, she and her team put on a large holiday meal for the homeless in Clark County. We have lots more on this inspiring story and a video you can see at clarkcountytoday.com, so check it out. And that is your Wednesday check of the stories we're following for you at clarkcountytoday.com. If you want to stay up to date on stories as they're posted and be part of the conversation, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you have a story idea, send it to us at news@clarkcountytoday.com. Hey, we'll be off tomorrow for the Thanksgiving holiday and back on Friday with a special video featuring some familiar faces from around Clark County sharing what they're thankful for in this unique and trying year. So keep an eye out for that. And for all of us, I'm Chris Brown. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. We'll be back with you again soon.